everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my vegetable soup. Well, I call it vegetable soup, but it does have meat in it. So for the sake of this video, we're going to call it beef and vegetable soup. So as you can see, I already have my bell pepper and my onion cut up. I have my ground beef right here. And if you saw my HEB haul, this is the meat that I hauled, the 5-pound tube of meat, and I just sectioned it off into 3 sections. So this is like a little over a pound. And so yeah, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and brown up my meat along with my bell pepper and my onion. And if you want to, you can make this in the crock pot. I usually do, but I kind of got off to a late start today. It's 2:15 right now, so I'm just going to make it on the stove and it's going to come out just as good. So let me get my meat in the pot and then I'll be back. Okay, so I just wanted to show you before I put my vegetables in, I like to season up my meat. And just to let you know what I put in, I used a little bit of salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder, some black pepper, some total seasoning, and also some red pepper flakes. So you can put in any seasoning that you like. However you like your ground beef to taste, just season it to your liking. But you can literally put anything in this soup. Is really hard to mess it up, but these are just my staples that I like to use. And I'm one of those cooks that, sometimes I switch things up. So, I don't always use exactly the same thing. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I do season my meat before I put in my vegetables. Okay guys, so we're back and I just took my meat out the pot to drain and I just added in my mixed vegetables. I'm using the mixed vegetables, the Great Value brand, so use whatever brand you like. And yeah, I just added in about, I would say, 2 cups of chicken broth. I really don't measure things, like I told you. I kind of just eyeball it. So yeah, that's what I did. I put a little more seasoning in here, my same seasonings, my salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and my total seasoning. And so I like to just let that go ahead and start warming up while the meat is draining, so that when I put the meat in, the vegetables aren't just completely frozen, because when you first put them in, they kind of stick together. So this looks pretty good. In a minute, I'm going to go ahead and add my meat back in, and then I'll come back and we'll add more ingredients. Okay, so now I have my meat and my vegetables in the pot, and now I'm just going to add in a can of stewed tomatoes. And so I'm just going to pour that right in. And then I'm just going to stir that up, and we're just going to let this sit and cook on low for maybe a good, I would say, hour and a half. It really doesn't take long, as long as your vegetables are done. You want to give your vegetables time to get done, but your meat is done. So the longer it cooks, the flavors just gel together, and this soup is really, really good. My family loves it. Yeah, so it is a family favorite. So yeah, I'm just going to stir this up, let it cook unbothered on low. Matter of fact, let me turn my fire down. I'm going to put it I'm going to put it on 2. So yeah, I'm going to let this cook for maybe an hour and a half uninterrupted, and then we'll come back and we only have like a couple more ingredients and the soup is pretty much done. So you just want, again, your vegetables to be cooked through, and you want all of those flavors just to really gel together. So this is a really great recipe to do in the crock pot, like I said, which I usually do. But it tastes great like this as well. If you're doing it in the crock pot, you want to do the same thing. You want to brown your meat first, drain it, then put it in the crock pot before you add your vegetables and everything else. So yeah, we'll be back once this has cooked for a while, and we'll add our last few ingredients. Okay, guys, I just wanted to come back really quickly and say you want to cover your soup. So while it's cooking, make sure you cover it, put it on low. And so in these videos, you have to be very specific. I just wanted to mention that. So we're going to just put the lid on and let it cook for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay, guys, so now that our soup has been cooking for a while, we're gonna add our last couple of ingredients. So the first thing is I'm gonna be adding in this spaghetti sauce. And you can add tomato sauce if you want, but I like to use spaghetti sauce just because of the flavor. So this is like the garlic and onion flavor. So it just gives it, you know, a little bit of something. You can put in tomato sauce, it's totally up to you. And we're just gonna mix that in. And then once you mix this in, the last ingredient, and it's optional, but I would do it just because it's going to balance everything out. You can put in about half a cup of brown sugar, and that's just going to balance everything out because we did, use a lot of seasoning, and it's not salty. It's going to be really good, really flavorful, but something about the brown sugar, it just adds a little something to it. It's not going to be sweet unless you accidentally put too much. So that's why I'm saying like half a cup. I don't measure it, but I would say no more than half a cup, just so it doesn't end up being too sweet. And that's really it for this soup. And you can eat it with crackers, or you can, just eat it by itself. But this is definitely a really, really good soup. You're going to get really full, and it'll last you for a few days depending on how big your family is. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to let mine cook. After I put in my spaghetti sauce and my brown sugar, I usually, it's usually in the crock pot, but since we're doing it on the stove today, I'll let it cook for maybe another hour, just because again I like the flavors to all kind of gel together. But your soup is done, so it's just up to you how long you want to cook it. So just give it a taste, but everything is ready. I just want to leave it a little bit longer after I put in my spaghetti sauce and my brown sugar. And there you have it. That is my beef, I guess you can call it, beef and vegetable soup. And I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.